I heard some smugglers were stealing tainted skooma right here in Riverhold. Let's just hope Thunderboots doesn't leave quite yet. Who knows what other troubles Riverhold has up its sleeve.
That's it! The Rithana de Renade is finally complete! Oh, I can't believe you were able to complete such a task, Five Claw. My brother and I will be forever in your debt. Though, I am a little disappointed there is no music. The mural is called the Song of Kingdoms, yes? Legends say this because it plays a most beautiful song representing the harmony of our people. After all, it is traditional for Khajiit to express themselves through music. I'll admit, I've never been sure of how it plays the song. Perhaps through an enchantment. I can't help but feel that we're missing something here. Something that wouldn't be clear until the mural was restored once more. Good idea. No harm in having a look, now that the mural is complete. The Song of Kingdoms. I always wondered what it sounded like, ever since I was a kitten. I've read so many stories, but never was the song actually described. Aside from the fact that it might save our museum from financial ruin, ancient songs and scriptures have always fascinated me. It's almost as though they allow me to visit a different world. And I want everyone to be able to experience that. My father would tell me stories of our people in front of a roaring fire. Even the most dull tales sounded magical coming from him. History is more than mere facts. The way we remember things is important, yes?
Iraya believes the mural can actually sing. Bah, my sister takes the old tales far too literally.
Looking for something? Rachin is here to help.
Rajin, it's
The feisty Khajiit is right, you know. The Rithana de Renada does have a song to sing. An awful shame that the jewel is still missing, yes? The singing crystal it was called. Rachin remembers how beautifully it glowed the night he stole it. Do not get your tail in a knot. Rachin stole it long ago, when still he walked the sands. The jewel now rests deep within a smuggler's den, the prized possession of Solomon the Sugar Slinger, a Khajiit of both great fortune and ill repute. This one has already provided transportation. So kind, is he not? Head north of Riverhold and meet with Kajad. He will take you to Sugar Slinger. And, fair warning, Walker, the singing crystal is well guarded. Best be careful. Rachin had a feeling you would see things his way. Very well. You've certainly earned a straightforward answer, difficult as that might be for a spirit of Rachin's persuasion. This one wished to test you, to see how far you would go to reunite Elsweyr. This one's homeland bleeds like an open wound. Dragons cloud the skies, war fills the streets, and Rachin's people suffer. And it seems you are at the heart of it all. One lone rook against the odds. If you could not restore mere stone, how could you restore an entire kingdom? Now, more than ever, Elsweyr needs to be as one. A task which requires many to accomplish, yes? But you most of all. Though spirits above do not ask me why. You speak of a Shadow of Rachin, not this Shadow of Rachin. There are 7 of us, each a different aspect of the great thief who once walked the sands of Elsweyr, each with a different purpose. Let us take the shadow you met in Grotwood, for example. He represented Rachin's desire, the desperate greed for that which he wished to obtain, an important trait for any great thief to have. Ah, yes. Rachin always did love his sweetmeats. Desire unchecked rarely comes to good. When alive, Rachin was kept in balance by all of his aspects. Separated? Well, this one suspects that the pretty high elf isn't the only one who suffered. Why, this one is his charm, of course. Or perhaps his dashing good looks. But you are clever enough to restore the Rithana di Renada, no? This one is sure you can figure out what virtue he carries, or perhaps what vice.
So, you must now retrieve the singing crystal, yes? I have never heard of such a thing, but it does explain how the mural plays its song. If I was a warrior, I would offer you my blade. For now, I will just wish you luck.
Best to do as Rajin's shadow says, yes? It would not be wise to anger our unexpected guest.
You just missed the festivities, Walker. Nothing left. Though, if you wait around for a bit, perhaps that 5-claw stranger will come back. Wait, you don't want to go to the hideout, do you? Kajad isn't sure he's fit to steer. All right, let's not make the boss mad. Just don't expect it to be a particularly smooth ride. Need to head back or something?
not let yesterday take up too much of today.
Need to head back or something? All right. Don't get your whiskers in a twist. You know, Kajad never really thought about that saying before. It would be a pretty horrible thing to happen, huh? What were we talking about? Oh, right. You ready to go? Can't you just let Kajad enjoy himself?
We appreciate your patience, good lords and ladies. The viewing will begin in but a few short moments. You have the singing crystal. Thank John and Joel. I was afraid you would fail and invite Rajin's wrath upon us all.
Please, don't mind the crowd. Izanji got a tad carried away when the mural was completed. He has invited wealthy nobles and merchants, even from Palatine in the south. Were you able to find the singing crystal? I'm pleased to hear that. Finally, the Song of Kingdoms will sing once more. And, should all go as planned, the House of Histories will receive some much-needed donations today as well. If we're to keep our doors open? Yes. After all, collecting the wonders of Elsweyr does not come freely, nor does our rent, for that matter. But never mind all that. Please, you should have the honor of placing the singing crystal. The Song of Kingdoms. I didn't know it would be quite so beautiful. And thanks to you, all of Elsweyr will be able to hear it, perhaps even inspired by it, yes? Now, more than ever, we need to spread hope. Well, I suspect his involvement had much more to do with you than the mural itself. Feel free to visit the House of Histories anytime you wish, free of charge. And here, a gift for your many troubles. the House of Histories is proud to reveal the Rithana de Renada. Please step forward for a better look. This mural was created as a symbol of peace many centuries ago. 16 kingdoms, yes, but one mural, one song, one people living in harmony. In this time of turmoil, it is our hope that the Rithana de Renada will inspire a renewed commitment to unity and peace. Let us hope that this mural inspires all of Elsweyr to come together, just as the 16 kingdoms came together long ago. We need that unity now, more than ever.
At last, the House of Histories can flourish. Our patrons will be many, our reputation fragrant, and most importantly, the gold will start flowing in. Oh, I can already picture it.
Sleek work, Walker. Thanks to you, the Song of Kingdoms is heard once more. Rachin also wishes you luck on your adventures. Is he not generous? After all, the blessing of a trickster such as him is no small thing.
Did you hear? Thunderboots took down a whole smuggling ring right underneath Riverhold. I still can't believe it. Maybe he's got some investigating skills after all.
Ah, there you are. Spare a moment for a chit-chat? If we've had this conversation already, then I wanted to thank you for the useful advice. But if I haven't seen you since our talk at that mysterious gravestone, which seems much more likely, then I could really use your help. Did I mention the dreams? Visions, really? They come and go without warning, like seeing through someone else's eyes. Quite disconcerting in an interesting sort of way. Anyway, my trusty shovel and I, we searched that entire grave, and it was gone. The betrayer's head, the dreams, the visions, they drew me there, but someone got to it before I did. I have the strangest sensation in the pit of my tummy. It could be the cobweb porridge I had for breakfast, or something bad is about to happen. Well, that's sort of like leaping from the cliffs of failure without a rope, or at least without tying the end off first. I can't tell you how many times I've made that mistake. Oh, Abner wants to see you. He's in the town hall with the Cat General.
At this point, we need to come up with a plan that takes into account Euraxians, necromancers, and dragons. I proposed a few options, but Gareshri wasn't sold on any of them. Tell me, what of Chimera and the source of the undead? You paint a troubling picture, my friend. Still, we need to celebrate every victory we achieve. I fear such triumphs will be few and far between. Do you have anything else to report? My half-sister likes to think that she's in charge. She won't take kindly to being called a puppet. As for leaving Elsweyr, I think not. Obviously, this Mulamnir fears us. Otherwise, the dragon wouldn't have deigned to talk to you. Every conversation I have with Cadwell makes my head throb, but one mystery at a time, if you please. Now, if only I could get my half-sister to listen to reason and see that the dragons are using her. A parley? I may not like her, but we are family. Besides, it would give the Khajiit time to regroup. You're beginning to think like a Tharn, my friend. Here, take this. Gareshri gave it to me, but I refuse to accept payment for my services. A parley with Euraxia is a capital idea. I'll send word to Rimmon to expect us. I imagine my half-sister will treat us as befits my station and agree to the meeting. Attend to any other matters if you must, then see me when you're ready to leave. It just so happens I already have one. It involves distracting my half-sister with wit, charm, and words she barely comprehends. Oh, and you. Euraxia never could resist a pretty face. You'll pretend to be my bodyguard and personal valet. Consider it obfuscation to hide your true purpose. We don't want to give Euraxia a reason to react poorly to overtures of reconciliation. Not that I expect to reach an accord, but still. Meet me in Rimmon and we'll enter the palace together. Go on, go on. I'm capable of traveling to Rimmon on my own. We'll meet up at the city gates and go to the palace from there. I'm relatively certain Euraxia will honor the parley, but be prepared for anything. She's still a Tharn, after all. We're not very close, in case I haven't made that abundantly clear. Euraxia is an accomplished mage in her own right. My younger sibling has always been ambitious, but I didn't realize the extent of her aspirations until the Frostfall coup. About 6 years ago or so, while Emperor Varen was busy with his rebellion, Euraxia took advantage of the confusion to lead a column of Nibonese mercenaries into Northern Elsweyr. She declared herself Queen of Rimmon and its adjacent fiefs. Of course not. The Khajiit called her the Usurper Queen, remember? Once Varen became Emperor, he had other problems to worry about. Same with Queen Irene. As long as the Alliance War occupies her forces, the Khajiit are on their own out here.
This one hates the idea of talking to the Usurper Queen. We should be stabbing her in the neck. Still, Nalado sees the necessity, even if she doesn't like it. Euraxia will almost certainly betray you, so be careful when you face her, yes? By marching into Elsweyr with a mercenary army and slaughtering our rightful Khajiiti rulers. Not only did the usurper slay our king and queen, she murdered the rest of the royal family. Her crimes, they swarm around her like flesh flies on dung.
A parley with the usurper queen. I doubt she'll agree to any sort of diplomatic solution. But it will buy us time to replenish our resources. Very well. Take Tharn and meet with Euraxia. In the meantime, we will rebuild what remains of the militia. She marched into Anequina with a mercenary army and conquered Rimmon. Her forces killed the royal family and she illegally proclaimed herself queen. That makes her a usurper. I pray I live to see her pay for her crimes.
I expected sorrow and despair, but the situation here goes beyond even my prophetic inklings. On the surface, yes, but peace through tyranny provides false harmony. Euraxia uses fear and threats of violence to keep the Khajiit in line, making them second-class citizens in their own province. It appalls me to think Euraxia and I are related. It would be better if I showed you. Follow me and I'll demonstrate the true depths of my half-sister's villainy. Her grip on Rimmon is far tighter than it appears. Very well. But what I'm about to show you isn't for the faint of heart. Follow me. Have you ever visited a Rimmon workhouse? They treat the Khajiiti workers worse than slaves. It's that building over there. For most of Rimmon's Khajiit, it's the only job available to them. The workhouse serves to snare the poor and the destitute, those who fall behind on their debts. They come here to find employment and earn a decent wage, but the costs deducted to pay for room and board leave them worse off than they were before. One of the first things Euraxia did after declaring herself queen was to institute tariffs and fines that apply only to Khajiiti citizens. No one else needs the workhouse. A cruel tactic, but effective. The Rimmon Khajiit? No. Any complaints incur fines for causing a public disturbance or some other inane ordinance. No one wants to risk falling even further into debt. It's ingenious. Monstrous, but ingenious. Oh, Euraxia is clever. She pays the Khajiiti, and the workhouse isn't technically a prison. On the surface, it appears to be a place that helps society's unfortunates, but underneath, it's slavery without any of the uncomfortable trappings. Now, let's visit the Rimmon marketplace. Take a look around. Business seems to be thriving, but appearances can be deceiving. It may be hard to see, but the Khajiiti merchants struggle to keep their stalls open, while the less bestial business people rake in the profits. Euraxia would have you believe it's a matter of work ethic, but we know better. Unfairly doesn't begin to cover it. Khajiiti merchants must deal with high tariffs, extra inspection fees, costly licenses. Euraxia's squeezing them for every piece of gold imaginable. She even instituted a fur tax. On the surface, it seems reasonable to make Khajiiti pay for extra inspections to ensure their fur isn't getting into the products they sell. And while they do shed, it's just another way to discriminate against the rightful citizens of this land. Come along. I want to show you the improvements Euraxia made to the palace walls. See the trebuchets? Notice how they're aimed into the city below. See how the siege weapons sit upon the walls? When it comes right down to it, you're looking at the secret of my half-sister's success. How else do you think Euraxia maintains order and keeps the Elsweyr defense force at bay? She declared publicly, and has repeated often, that any attempt to liberate Rimmon will see her unleash the full fury of the siege weapons upon the city. If Euraxia can't have Rimmon, then neither can anyone else. She'd destroy the city in a heartbeat if she thought she was in danger of losing control. Of course, she tells her non-bestial subjects that only the Khajiiti districts are targeted. Absolutely not. But the lie makes her supporters feel better. The Khajiit know that even a peaceful protest could result in the destruction of Rimmon. So far, no one has dared to challenge Euraxia's will in this matter, and for good reason. When we get to the palace, let me do the talking. As the Elder Tharn, I'll demonstrate my dominance over Euraxia and negotiate a cessation of hostilities.
I don't like the looks of these meddlers. I say we feed them to the dragons and be done with it. I know you. I saw you through the soul-shriven's eyes. You were with the fool who thinks himself the shining knight of Sirad. If only he knew what a monster I was. The horrors of Cold Harbor pale before my heinous deeds. I am my own head, yes. I am the hero of Sirad and the villain of Elsweyr, the champion of the Third Nedic massacre and the dark knight they call the Betrayer. Of course not. I am the genuine article, much more real than a disembodied soul given shape in the flesh cauldrons of oblivion. But why do you presume to talk to me? I have killed greater beings than you for much, much less. Came to that conclusion by yourself, did you? That's what they called me. There's a certain ring to it, but I always preferred my more grandiose titles. Champion, Slayer, Dark Knight. When I am made whole, the cats will pay for what they did to me.
So you're Abner Tharn's bodyguard and valet. Not what I expected. I assume you want to follow your master into the Queen's inner sanctum, huh? I'll allow it. But first, I want to gauge the measure of your marrow. I am Queen Euraxia's chief necromancer. You may call me Zumog Foom. The other grave callers answer to me. And this is my familiar and confidant, Sir Cadwell the Betrayer. Ah, yes. The Betrayer saw you when it looked through the soul-shriven's eyes. The creature you know is a pale shadow of the dark night that once walked these lands. I exhumed his remains and reanimated him. Well, his head, it was all I could find. My actions don't concern you. I just wanted to meet Abner Tharn's lackey and determine if Queen Euraxia had anything to fear. The answer is quite clear. Your insignificance rivals that of the soul-shriven fool, which makes you eminently forgettable.
Now about the rest of my body, O pestilent one.
Your insults won't hasten the process, betrayer.
But there's a terrible draft in what used to be my nether regions.
Presenting Abner Tharn, Grand Chancellor and Overlord of Nibene, Imperial Battle Mage of the Elder Council, and Patriarch of the Tharn Dynasty, and his bodyguard.
Ah, half-brother, your arrival, it's so unexceptional.
Pretending to be a queen is—
Hush, Abner, you bore me. Bodyguard, you look interesting. Come talk to me.
You heard her. Good luck.
My sources indicated that my son's murderer was somewhat taller. Ah, well. Now, why in the world should I even consider negotiating with the monster who murdered my dear Javad? And you killed him for that? By whose authority do you play judge, jury, and executioner? Oh, to think I once dreamed of torturing you for 12 years, but I see now that you're not worth the effort. So, why come to me about the dragons? You think that your flowery words will cause me to slip and reveal my deepest, darkest plan? Oh, how little you understand the mind of a Tharn. Instead, I think I will take you to the dungeons. Make you beg for mercy before I give your remains to Foom. Flowery words won't sway me, sun killer. But you are correct about one thing. Mulomnir and I have a special relationship. An understanding. The dragons will secure my control of Elsweyr. With their help, nothing can stop me. Enough! Zumog Foom, what news do you bring?
The Desert Wind Adaptorium has fallen. We move against Riverhold on your word.
Then the word is given. Now, half-brother.
treachery. How could I ever have anticipated this?
Guards, take them to the dungeons.
I think not. Well, I suppose that could have gone better. I prepared for Euraxia's probable betrayal. Unfortunately, my teleport spell wasn't quite able to penetrate the palace wards, so we wound up down here, in the palace sewer. We heard two things of note. First, Euraxian forces have invaded the Desert Wind Adaptorium for some insidious purpose. And second, my vile half-sister ordered an attack on Riverhold. One thing at a time, my companion, one thing at a time. I need to recover my strength after teleporting us into this skeever hole. I'll need your help to get out of here. Then we can deal with both Desert Wind and Riverhold. I recommend vigilance. Old sewers attract all sorts of vermin, plus it won't be long before Euraxian soldiers come looking for us. All I can offer at this moment is advice. So avoid what you can, dispatch what you can't, and watch where you step.
Like rats in the sewer, just as...
Restrain the traitor!
The way out, finally. I can't abide another moment in this stench. Well, that's an experience I won't be adding to my memoirs. We'll separate here. Make it harder for Euraxia's lackeys to follow us. Now. Things actually turned out better than I expected. We know that Euraxia wants something from the Desert Wind Adeptorium, and we know she's about to launch a counterstrike against Riverhold. That's not exactly true. If my power wasn't depleted... Well, let's not digress. I'll go to Riverhold and warn Garishri. We'll make sure the city is ready for the attack. Meanwhile, you find out what's happening at the Desert Wind Adeptorium. Adeptoriums serve the same function as monasteries in other parts of Tamriel. Desert Wind and its adepts are dedicated to the Jan Kaj, literally the Order of the Desert Wind. Note that it has numerous entrances, in case the main door is blocked.
Shore's bones. The rigger knew he should have brought more.
Work builds character, they say.
Seal the gates. Let no Euraxian enter this holy place.
Invaders! This one will not allow you to enter this holy place. You do not look like one of the Usurper Queen's soldiers. Who are you, and what are you doing down here? The Speaker of the Main sent you? This one expected we were on our own, what with the dragons and the battles to the north. Zamorak came down here to seal this path, but now he thinks the Euraxians seek the Grand Adept. Desert Wind holds many Khajiit secrets, and the keeper of those secrets is the Grand Adept. If you truly want to help, follow Zamorak to the Grand Adept's chambers. Nine Winds, no! Get to the door! Go! Save the Grand Adept! Zamorak cannot... Go! This one will find another way inside.
You're too late. The Grand Adept revealed all before I killed her. No, please! No! Help me! Don't let Zumog Foom take my soul! Zumog Foom! This is the Necromancer's doing. Even in death, I continue to serve. He called it a blessing. Said it would protect me. Damn him! He claimed my soul! Please, you must help me. Release me from this curse! We came for an ancient secret, protected by the Grand Adept. She put up a good fight, I'll give her that. Zumog Foom seeks the location of the betrayer's body parts. I learned where the dismembered corpse was hidden. Now, please, help me!
You are wrong. The secret belongs to me. What the Battle Mage knew in life, she whispers to me in death. Soon Riverhold will fall, and the betrayer will be restored.
Let the fourth wind open the way. Grand Adept! No! Zamorak has failed. This one was too slow. Again. What has happened here? Who killed the Grand Adept? Zamorak thanks you for avenging the Grand Adept. But why did they attack this peaceful Adeptorium? Why kill a harmless old student of the Desert Winds? The Usurper Queen made a mistake when she had the Grand Adept killed. Whatever they came to find had an unintended consequence. It has roused the students of the Desert Winds. Zamorak pledges the Adepts to Gareshri's cause. Euraxia will fall. We are not many, but we are strong. The Adepts of the Desert Wind will aid the city. Zamorak will see you there, after he makes sure the Grand Adept receives the proper blessings.
On top of it all, here you are,